Hey guys, hey listen, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about something that I do. Probably some people might think it's elective, but I think it's something or as a hobby, but I do it, so I think it's essential. So I make the family's bread and been doing that for about a year. And so I just wanted to show you a little bit about the process that I use. Very, very simple. I think anybody could do it. And if you like to have some good quality bread at home without any preservatives, this is the way I think the way to go. I do sourdough bread. So I'm not going to walk you through the details of every piece of it, but I can in a later video if you're interested. But I start out with a starter that I've actually had in the refrigerator for a year. And you just keep on feeding it with flour and water and it'll grow its own yeast. I never add yeast. It's always its own natural yeast that comes from the air. It's pretty awesome. So basically, we got three ingredients. We have the flour, water, and salt, and that is it. And that's all you need. There's no additional yeast added or anything. So, I mean, there is some trial and error associated with this. So this is a bread dough that I had started yesterday, and I'll kind of show you the dough and where it's at now. So I'm going to turn the phone around. I also want to show you what you would need. Start with my KitchenAid mixer. Love this thing. Had it for years. It's awesome. So you don't have to have a KitchenAid mixer. You have to have some type of a mixer to mix up your dough, I think. You could use a hand mixer, but that'd be difficult. But it's a combination of doing that and using your hands. And I actually have the dough, which I started yesterday, so I'm not going to walk you through the process of making it today. I also have a way to measure my flour, water, and salt, and this thing is like 10 bucks, and it's great. So definitely should get one of those. Obviously a pan. There's different types of pans you can use. This is just one that we use a lot. It's just for making it a normal loaf. And then of course you have your salt. So when it comes to the flour, you can go a lot of different directions with flour, but generally you want to use some type of a bread flour. It's generally going to be higher in gluten, and it just does better. And then so this is a Walmart brand, and this is a King Arthur brand. I've had success with both of them. These are a little cheaper. I think King Arthur makes a really nice flour, and you can get these things in like this, or you can also get it in organic. Depends on how much money you want to spend. If you're wanting just to save money and have a nice loaf of bread at home, you can do this. And I think probably I spend maybe $1 a loaf for that. And I would imagine, I haven't checked this, but if you would put my loaf on a scale with a general loaf that you buy from the grocery store, it would probably weigh at least twice as much. Anyways, so basically what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to take this dough, and it's been rising and I've been messing around with it a little bit this morning. I'm going to basically move it into my greased pan there, and then it'll rise for the rest of the day today, and hopefully by about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight we'll have a loaf of bread. And generally speaking, there's 3 of us in the house right now, and that will normally last us about a week. It depends, obviously, if you have more folks in the house, less. And then about a week, I think it's time to get rid of it. This is the loaf that I had made last week, and this turned out really nice. I was very happy with it. So I just keep my stuff in a bread box, something I had made just because I wanted to. And I initially don't even put my bread in a bag when I first get it. I like it to be 100% cooled down before I even put it in my bread box. And then what I like to do is put it in here even without being in a bag. But once I start cutting into it, the end that's cut, then it can start to dry out. So that's why you'll see it in another bag. I don't know the science behind it. That's just the way I do it. So just showing you that. So anyways, just wanted to kind of give you an idea about this. If you guys think this is something interesting, I will go into more detail later. So I will talk to you later. And by the way, so here is my bread or my dough. Now it's into the the loaf pan. It's into the loaf pan now, and add some additional flour, help it and grease the pan. And I'll cover it with some paper, some plastic wrap, and it'll set for a while. And keep in mind, this does not have any yeast, so this grows a little bit slower than a normal dough would be, but it's still summertime outside, so good amount of humidity, and the temperature in the house is pretty nice. So I'll get a good rise out of this thing, and yeah, by this evening, this thing will be looking pretty good. I'll try to get one more shot of it, like right before it goes in the oven, and then when it comes out of the oven. I don't know if you can see this very well or not. So it's been about 2 hours since I put the dough into my pan, and keep in mind, there's been no added yeast to this, so it may not rise as quickly as you're used to if you make dough or if you make bread. But if you can tell, it's already kind of hitting the top of the plastic. So probably in about another 3 hours or so, it'll probably be where I want it, possibly. I'll keep an eye on it. One thing that's kind of important, at least this is what I do, is on the plastic, I spray an organic oil on the underside of the plastic so that when the dough hits the plastic, it doesn't stick to it, because it will stick. And if you pull it off and it sticks, it'll pop and it'll go back down, which will be very disappointing. So anyways, there you go. I'll get another picture of this and video when it gets close to ready to go in the oven. Something else I just thought about when it comes to your flour, I pointed out these two flours that I'm using here, which are unbleached, white. But if you want to have a wheat, then I also have some wheat. I have this really nice Icorn organic flour that I got up in Amish country, and you don't have to get it there. But a good wheat flour you can mix in with the white, and then you can get more of a kind of a wheat loaf. And you know, this idea of different types of flours and ideas can go on. You can use your imagination, making all kinds of things. You know, I've added seeds to my bread and cinnamon, and I've made like cinnamon loaves. I've made buns, I've made pita bread, and you know, as compared to what you get to the store, in my opinion, way better. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a bit of a work, it's a process, but once, you know, I've got my measurements memorized now, so I just get all my stuff out, start pouring in, and I can actually have my dough mixed up and ready to go in about 15 minutes. So it's a pretty simple process once you kind of been doing it for a while. So anyways, there's that.